Women's rights. The history. In history, women were considered inferior to men. In the early 17th century, women had little right and were considered property of their fathers or husbands. They could not file a lawsuit without their husbands and were subject to any sort of punishment wished upon them. Women were not allowed to attend school without their brothers, and education usually stopped after grammar school. Women were not encouraged to receive an education and only had little opportunities in service roles. All gods or supreme beings in all religions are referred to as he or are of male characteristics. This has influenced our ideals today. Almost all fictional characters that we idolize are male, such as Santa Claus and Superman. All in all, women in history have had many rights taken away from them that we take for granted. Women's political progress. Women's political progress all started with the first Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls, New York in 1848. Women recognized their rights as human beings and started to fight for them. Some infamous feminists such as Susan B. Anthony, Lucy Stone, Margaret Sanger, and Betty Friedan all made their contribution to the feminist movement. Susan B. Anthony formed the National Women's Suffrage Association in 1869 to achieve voting rights for women through changing the U.S. Constitution. Margaret Sanger opened the first birth control clinic in 1916, but was shut down after 10 days. However, she fought and reopened in 1923 by the support of the courts and continued to this day as the Parenthood Federation of America. Some other achievements of women include the 19th Amendment to the Constitution granting women the right to vote was signed in 1920 on August 26. 1963 on June 10th, Congress passed the Equal Pay Act, making it illegal for employers to pay a woman less than what a man would receive for the same job. 1966, National Organization for Women is founded by a group of feminists including Betty Friedan and becomes the largest women's rights group in the U.S. June 23rd of 1972, Title IX of the Education Amendment bans discrimination in schools, which led to an increase in women in the athletic programs and professional schools. In 1973, in Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court establishes the woman's rights to a safe and legal abortion. 1976, the first marital rape law is enacted in Nebraska, making it illegal for a husband to rape his wife. As you can see, women have progressed from little to no rights to being able to vote, having a legal and safe abortion, and having equal pay in the workforce as men. This is all due to the political progress women have made in the American government. Although women have achieved much success in government, women are still underrepresented. In the 2013 Congress, 98 out of 535 seats belongs to women, about 18.3%. Women are still less than a quarter of the people in elective office. Compared to other countries, women have a small part in government. Other countries have had female leaders, such as Germany, Liberia, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Thailand, Jamaica, and Switzerland, and many more. Having a female president or prime minister is not impossible. Other countries have shown this. Women can make it to the top. Women in the workplace today. Although today women have gained their rights, they are still unable to be promoted up the corporate ladder. The glass ceiling is still in place, discriminating against women and minorities, making it difficult for them to rise to positions of power. Women are not making it to the top professions anywhere. Los Angeles Times had a poll of 12,000 workers that showed that 2/3 of women experienced sexual discrimination, and 60% saw signs of racism in their work. 70% believe they are still paid less than men of equal ability, even though Congress passed the Equal Pay Act, making it illegal for employers to pay a woman less than a man, and the Civil Rights Act in 1964, which states there shall be no discrimination against someone based on race, color, religion, national origin, or sex. Women still experience sexual discrimination in their paychecks and in their work environment. What does that mean for the government? How do they enforce these laws? The government has taken multiple actions. However, it seems that sexual discrimination is not on their priority list. A 1983 survey shows that affirmative action for women and minorities ranks 23rd out of 25 human resource priorities. Discrimination against women is not the first thing on the government's mind. However, that does not mean they do not take action when it is necessary. In 2011, the Supreme Court threw out a class action lawsuit against Walmart that was brought on by a staggering 1.5 million female employees. Female workers of Walmart have been told they could not be promoted to management because it was a man's job, and women should be seen and not heard. So the government does take action. Modern feminist movements. Today, with technological advances and social network, peoples are more interconnected than ever. News about social issues and government can be transferred faster and in more detail with pictures and videos. One of the biggest modern feminist movements today started in Toronto. In 2011, a police officer named Michael Sanguinetti gave a personal talk after a rape incident to a law school campus saying, "Women should avoid dressing like sluts in order not to be victimized." People took this statement as him stating that any person who sexually dressed is looking to be raped. Females thought that this was unacceptable and spread this news across the world, starting the slut walk movement. Rape victims are often asked, "What were you wearing? How late was it? Why were you alone?" As if it is the victim's fault that she has been raped. Activists of the slut movement want to spread awareness that it is not the victim's fault, but only the perpetrator can be blamed. Women have the right to wear whatever they choose without being raped and being blamed for it. This movement has made its way across the world and all around the nation. Women's rights movements continue today. The women of America have made a huge leap from where they were to where they are now. Women today have a voice and will continue to fight for their say in society and in the government. Women's rights.